They're just segments of this whole?
That is not entirely true.
Not entirely true.
Partly true.
Partly true.
Not entirely true.
Which part is true and which part is not?
True in the sense that they share a similar characteristic of knowing the object. They are not true in the sense that all of these have different associated mental states. And they change moment to moment. Right?
So are all of these consciousnesses a creation of the consciousness?
Yes. Of multiple consciousness. You see, these realities we call formations, we call conditioned realities. Sankharas, formation. Conditioned reality is you can't say it is or it is not. When you say it is, you're caught. When you say it is not, it's caught. It's not a Zen question. It's a statement of reality that have to be realized as you practice. One friend asked me, do you mean then consciousness is universal consciousness? Is our consciousness all finally all the same if we don't identify with it? It's a universal. So please, you're taking it too far. You're creating another concept of universal consciousness. Just watch, don't think. Then you're closer to the truth. It's more complicated. It's not entirely wrong to say there's a universal consciousness, but it defeats the purpose of transcendence. Okay, now come back to where we are. So you have this kusala, wholesome consciousness. When you're mindful of the wholesome consciousness, then you see it, different types of consciousness changing. Wholesome consciousness, sometimes you're compassionate, sometimes you're generous, sometimes you're mindful, sometimes you're very mindful, sometimes you're not so mindful, and so on, it changes. So there are different types of wholesome consciousness. And we won't go into that for the time being. For the time being, we say that when your meditation is proceeding properly, the mental states to take note of are the 5 controlling faculties. Faith, energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom.
Faith or
faith or confidence,
faith.
Energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. These are the 5 controlling faculties. You can read it from the books and so on. But in meditation, in the beginning, there is this play of confidence and wisdom faculty. In the more mundane level, the beginning. Faith in meditation, for example, you read enough to feel it as logical and you're willing to try it out. So you have at least that confidence to try it out. Wisdom is when you start discriminating. But the only trouble is in meditation, a lot of things you don't understand unless you experience it. And maybe you need somebody to explain to you. And so in the process where you start getting experiences, then there may arise skeptical doubts. And when the skeptical doubts become too strong, then the faith is not, then the whole practice paralyzes. On the other hand, if you like some devotional Buddhists, they just keep practicing, oh, it's good, and whatever experience, oh, it's good, then they get in trouble, because when it's not good experience, they think it's good. Or even, no, they meet with the wrong instructions of the teacher. Take for example, I was in Seattle There was this Indian lady, she says she has this trouble. Why? Because she keeps forgetting everything. Because she just wants to be present. She doesn't care for anything. She's a very determined lady, you know. So she says she forgets. She's just there. When people ask her about things, don't talk to me about that. I want to be just present. It's okay when you're in intensive retreat, but when you're live, it's hard. So when she asked the monk said, good, very good, we also like to be like you. So she was even more determined. And then, what happened? So when she could have said something is wrong somewhere. You don't have clear comprehension. There's time to exercise this type of mindfulness. There are times that you should not exercise this type of mindfulness. Clear comprehension is not there.
Are you suggesting that the dangers are like playing a Ouija board? You should be very careful of what you get out of the Ouija board?
It's just that you need guidance at certain times. Without a teacher around, then you have to rely on books. But books, there's so many types of books.
Yeah, and where do you find it in the book?
So in the beginning is kind of
It's,
potluck.
seems like everything always comes back to emptiness. If it's just a construct of your mind. Because there's nothing really that's self-existent.
Be careful what you mean by emptiness.
That nothing really is self-existent on its own because it's dependent on something else.
That non-self, you mean. Emptiness is something else. Emptiness is usually referred to as shunyata. Non-self is anatta. I come to it tomorrow when you talk about insight and wisdom. Personally, we have only 2 days to clear all this.
What do we have to do? Do we have to kidnap you as a teacher? Just hold on to you?
Well, you can tempt me to taking on trips to visit beautiful other parts of Canada.
Well, there's an idea.
Yellowstone's nice.
In British Columbia.
That's why I'm back to America. Because at first I was in America, Texas. This fellow was always making me work. Here you teach, there you teach, and you teach everywhere. I said, I'm not going to work like a slave for you. I need breaks, I need rest. So I told him I'm not coming anymore. I just cut off.
Retirement is good.
And I left the States for 5 years.
So is that a hint to us not to be too proud?
How much of Canada have you seen?
Only the extreme ends.
Oh, okay. There's a big section in between.
Yeah. And so finally, one fellow, Andrew, maybe you know him. Andrew, he's from San Jose. He asked me to come back. I had to make a deal with him. Okay, if I come, you better take me for nice trips to the national parks. He said the first time you come, you don't have to teach at all. Of course, when I come, I teach. What else can I do? But not so heavy, you know. So I planned, and so that's why I'm back in the States. Of course, when I go for, it's not total vacation. I also go for meditation in those trips, and so on. And I do my favorite hobby, you know. I write poetry and I take photographs for the poetry, you know. It's a hobby. I've written 3 poetry since I was here.
3 poems?
3 poems. Very nice photographs. Because they're very nice pictures around the day. One of them is about Thanksgiving.
Oh. Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You're going to experience American Thanksgiving, you know what I mean.
So anyway, Going back to the topic. So now we come to this part.
Oh, this part.
You see, this part is more of a technical explanation of Vipassana. Yeah? This is a technical explanation. This is experiential explanation, based on experiential. Now the second figure here, the candle and the moth. Well, you know very well about the story of the candle and the moth. No? The insects are attracted to light. And so, what happens is when you practice Chittanupassana by just watching the mind, concentration builds up. One way to build up the concentration is you put an arbitrary point in the center of inner space. Let's say you close your eyes and feel, you try again, you close your eyes, take deep breath, feel the light, feel the inner space. Then put a point there. Pin-sized point, or maybe a bit larger, very bright point. Just keep the point there. And you find that the consciousness will be slowly centered around there. Like a bright light in having its center. So, at some point, just forget about a point. And the point will seem to be more luminous and brighter than the rest of the space. Just remember that this is not light. It is that bright, luminous consciousness. How do you get it? Can you get it, Scott?
Not really.
Can you get it, Michelle?
I have a bright point, but it's outside of the frame of reference. I'm just getting the reflection back.
What about you, Zania? Can you get it? Not she, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
After some trial and errors, we will get it, no? So similarly, when you know that, because it's just a brief period, you go through a guided meditation longer, you get it. So there is this focal point of the bright, clear awareness in the center of this whole space. Now let's say you have been doing sitting meditation and you feel the sensations around the body, and you on and off your thoughts and all those things. So you place the awareness, if your awareness, your consciousness is the one pointed, it is like sitting in the center on this throne with cushion. And then you have all the secondary objects of the consciousness around it. In perpetual motion, like the sensations, like energies and perpetual motion. These are like the moth and insects flying around it. Sometimes you have more, sometimes you have only one or two, but they're going around it. So this is the second one. But if you have been watching consciousness in the first type, walking of the dog, and you see the conscious dog in the center changing, consciousness changing, then you find that the consciousness inside is like a candle flame flickering. And then objects are around it. This is the cloud method in the consciousness aspect. So this is a candle light. This candle flame is clear awareness and mindfulness itself, which is the central point. You know it at the same time. It seems like at the same time you also see it figuratively, and all those are going around. It's like you're doing walking meditation, right step, you also feel the things around it. Cloud like that. You get it?
Yeah.
And so, now what is interesting thing is you are more focused, slowly become more focused on just the consciousness. Because you're clearer in concentration, the objects also become clearer and bigger, and they approach the frame. Approaching closer to the frame. That's why sometimes the meditation teachers ask you, when you're meditating, do you go to the object or the object comes to you? You see, you go to the object, your concentration is clear, and to walk the dog state. But you say the object is coming to you, and then it's the moth state, candle state. So what happens is when the moth grows closer and closer to the candle flame, what happens? It's the end of the moth. So long.
Or the beginning.
Or the beginning. But why? Because the mind and the object comes together. When you're really to the moment, to the present, to the relative, it's just the mind and its object. And they arise and they disappear together. The mind and object arises and passes away, moment to moment. And this is what I mean by this second part. When that happens, then this moment to moment arising of the mind and object, and later also the mind and the mental state is perceived to be quickly changing faster and faster. That means that's where the contemplation of citta, consciousness, and Vipassana becomes a primary object and starts deepening.
Is that the same way as dealing with mental afflictions we talked about the other day? When you do that, bring them in, you're burning them up and getting rid of them?
Yes. That is provided you can do that when your perception of the impermanence and so on is strong. Otherwise you may still need samatha or psychotherapy. So this is actually, I won't go into more detail because some of these are more advanced experiences. So generally it goes deeper and deeper until you reach the dragon state. Dragon state is the mind has become very powerful. It's like a lightning that strikes right across the universe. Then this comes out like this. That's where it's getting ready to fly away.
It takes all the fun of walking the dog.
No, but this is even more fun. Reaching beyond the stars. The sky is like a huge, infinite universe. It has to go beyond that. Consciousness is like that, it's like a whole infinite universe. And consciousness has to go beyond that. Nibbana is that beyond all this. takes time. It's not impossible, but it takes time. And dedication, and sacrifice, and. Cross the bridge when you come to it. At this point, we leave this first. We are talking about the 5 controlling faculties. First, there are certain things that we mentioned. Before the concentration becomes strong, the mindfulness and or whatever concentration that you obtain has to be continuous. It's like, it's like the river flowing. You must keep flowing for the river to become strong and big. If it stops, there's a drought and start again. Pray for rain. Now, there are a number of factors governing this continuity. Many things. You must be skillful in arousing the mindfulness. You must be skillful in handling all types of objects that come and go. The skill in handling the hindrances and the defilements. And when it starts working, you must be skilled in balancing the faculties. I was talking about this wisdom and faith. In the beginning, the real wisdom of meditation doesn't come into the picture yet, because it hasn't arisen. This wisdom refers to the insight meditation, not the ordinary type of wisdom. That one it starts at the very beginning, as I say. So what is critical in the process is the balancing between concentration faculty and the energy faculty. Usually they explain when the energy is too strong, it becomes restless. When there's not enough energy, it becomes sluggish. That's what happens. What about concentration? In the beginning, you don't have much concentration anyway. But the concentration factors occurs as the tranquility factor, being peaceful. It is there in the sense of being peaceful. So in the beginning, the balancing is more regarding you bringing up of the right effort. The right point where mindfulness is optimal. You push too hard, you get stressed. You relax too much, you get sleepy. No. So you need to have the right effort. It means the effort made with mindfulness and the effort to be mindful. And as a result, mindfulness comes out. Because this comes with an understanding of what mindfulness is and so on. And so, making the right effort. Once you find the optimal point, which may not be very much, you stick to it. As it picks up, the mindfulness will grow. Starting from first gear. First gear, you cannot speed. You just go, you push too much petrol, you get something will go wrong with the engine. So, but as it progresses, and then the concentration factor comes in. The point to take note of is when you see when be careful of this tension. When energy faculty is too much, tension builds up. Energy faculty is not enough, the mind becomes sluggish, which is not dangerous. You just fall asleep. It's a waste of time, as long as you don't sit next to a cliff.
Or
Or the wall.
we're back here at school.
Wall is not so bad, but it's a soft wall.
Actually, if you,
Padded wall.
if
Because
you
some people meditate facing the wall and then there's a big boom.
you
That-
sit
that
next to a
happens.
cliff, chances are you're not gonna be sleepy.
After that, no.
Yeah.
But before that, yes.
You may be too tense.
Attention, you don't do attention, you tend to joke. No, you tend to joke, no? Attention tends to joke. When it comes to scream. Sometimes you become extended the scream, actually scream. It's really down.
So are you saying that too much tension can be dangerous?
Yes.
In what way?
Yes, you get freaky. But at this point, the beginning stage, not so bad. Beginning stage, you probably get tension in the head.
Yes.
And usually in such cases, they run away. But after a while, you find that as the days go by, meditate, walks in day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, month, first month, second month, third month. Now, whether you like it or not, the mind is being driven. Becomes powerful, strong. Perhaps not in the best way. If you are with mindfulness, balanced mindfulness, it definitely relieves you up. But sometimes the mindfulness is not strong, it's just pushing. When you start pushing, after a while, you say, I'm not pushing, but the momentum is there. I'm not pushing, I'm relaxing, but still the mind goes, go, man, go. After a while, you think, wow, mind is like a big dynamo. You can't sleep. Turn right and turn left. And that's where the tension can become severe. And that's where you will be careful. Before that happens, relax. So usually when I teach meditation, I don't push. As long as they behave themselves and don't disturb others, I close one eye. Comparatively from what at home you're meditating many hours than you've ever been. So okay, just don't disturb other people. Other people you disturb too much. The door is open, my friend.
Turn the dog away.
So that's the time we must learn to relax. It's balancing our faculties. It's too strong and you gotta relax. And when you relax, you really relax. When you say, I must keep some mindfulness because I'm working so hard, I cannot put it all together. That's finished. You will let go. The chain is there. The mind was there. Yes, we shouldn't relax. Go, man, go. It's not the conscious mind. It's the mind that's been built up. You let go. You let the air out the back. But because you're meditating so long, it quickly picks up. There's a time bomb. There's a mechanism there in your mind. That's beyond your conscious control. It's already been calibrated. Energy, man, energy. So the good energy will progress. Not necessarily so. Mindfulness for energy. So, what about concentration? Concentration builds up with continuity of mindfulness. There's one exception, that you have been already have some concentration prior to your Vipassana. Either through your innate tendencies or through samatha. These are two main factors. people who have done samatha before, they go to jhanas, concentration is already there. And so when they sit, the concentration is there. But the concentration is not vipassana. Okay. That is better than nothing. It's nice to say that, no? You are to be promised the highest heavens, but you're still in samsara. It's still the chicken and the egg. The other is innate tendencies. Some people have an aptitude for concentration. They are saying jhanas. At this age, I say every this innate, often these deep concentrations, either you have it or you have to work like mad for it. You really tough job climbing up the hill, no? Up. But some people have it. There's one lady who says, well, she said for 5 hours, I could sit more. Yes, sitting completely. It seems that this occurs more with ladies. I wonder why. So we call them samatha ladies. Take for example, I was in this Sarawak. You know Sarawak? Borneo. Sarawak is at the top part of Borneo. It comes here under Malaysia. There's a little back bit, Borneo is like a chicken. The shape of a chicken. The head and the wings and the belongs to Malaysia. A little bit of the neck belongs to Brunei. The belly, Kalimantan belongs to Indonesia. No, it's very strange. Brunei is separated into 2 parts, you see. There's a sea coast, this one part of Brunei, another part of Brunei. In between, there's a little bit of Malaysia. They hate it. This is people Limbang. It's called Limbang. It's very remote. It's a small town and the people there. So I went there one day to teach meditation. And so when I was teaching meditation, one day there was a day where they can come and go as they wish. So there were these 2 young ladies that came to meditate. One was about 50, another one was about 80. So she sat